Yeah, Dave, you guys faced a lot of really good left-handed pitching last week, specifically in that Saturday game. Obviously, Xavier presents their own set of challenges, but for some of your top older left-handed bats, do you think it'd be nice to see a more righty-heavy line or righty-heavy pitching staff?
Yeah, I mean, statistically, that's usually the case unless they have a really, really good changeup that's hard to pick up off their fastball. But um, yeah, we saw a good mix down there. It was a really good experience for us. And we have some lefties that, honestly, if you look at their numbers, they hit left-handed pitching pretty good. But the lefty on that came out of the pen for TCU, he stopped us for 3 innings, and we've watched him the last year or so, and that's the best we'd seen him. His velocity stayed up, and obviously we didn't get him. We were only down a run for 3 innings. We didn't score. So, yeah, I mean, to answer your question, yeah, I mean, you think so, but hey, you never know how it's going to go. We know that they have three right-handed starters. So mentally, that's what we're preparing for. And we know what they have in the pen as far as, lefties and righties.
Obviously, you spoke a lot about two-strike approach and kind of needing to clean up some of that from opening weekend. What were those conversations like throughout this week? And I mean, were there any? Obviously, you're not going to change everything you do based on one weekend, but what did you see from your hitters throughout the week between Arlington and now?
Well, we've only had one workout since Arlington and now, and we'll have another one today, and it'll be light. It's been more just talking and discussing things about approach, and we have the approach, but then you got to go do it if you're hitting, and you got to fight to stay alive. And obviously, with two strikes, you got to cut down on your swing a little bit. And for the most part, if you're a power guy, you're gonna swing and miss, and it's kind of risk reward type situation. It's you're going to strike out a little bit. You're also going to hit some home runs. So, but there's certain times where you really got to fight to make contact and put the ball in play. Let them field it and get you out that way. And you usually over the course of a season, there's going to be balls kicked. You're going to get to better counts to hit in, or maybe you even have the advantage at 3-2. I feel like the hitter has the advantage there, but um, we definitely have discussed it.
Oh, let's go ahead.
Hey Dave, I'm curious if you have an update on Kahio, how he's looked this week.
Yeah, he's a lot better. He went full go in practice yesterday, and I feel like by tomorrow he should be 90% at a minimum. I mean, he wanted to play on Monday, and we had him doing a lot of stuff in the hotel and treatment, and that's why I got him out of there so quick. Is that I didn't want this to be a month-long thing if he hurt it again trying to outrun something. And it seems like he's doing well because he was running about 70% pretty good on Monday. So it's gotten better. And, we'll look at it again today, big time, and see what we think. But I feel like he'll be ready to go.
And I just wanted to confirm you have your rotation for this weekend. Is it going to be the same as last
Yeah,
weekend?
same as last week. And we sent that out. They sent theirs over yesterday, so we sent ours over as well.
Jackson, go ahead.
Hey Dave, as far as the pitching goes, with the guys that maybe pitched Sunday, Monday, who stood out and coming out of the bullpen? DeCremmer, some of the other guys. What kind of were your lasting impressions of those guys that maybe didn't come out of the bullpen on Friday and Saturday?
And I thought the guys that threw on Sunday and Monday did great, and it wasn't, obviously Friday we used, really two guys, and then I thought, for a guy that pitched on Monday, McIlvain was really good, and then honestly, Brissy was really good. The Kramer was good, so there's guys that it wasn't about maybe with the younger guys, when you're talking about a Brissy or maybe even Lee getting the start on Monday, letting them see it for a few days. But the stuff is as good as guys that pitched on Saturday. So not scared to go with any of them. Got confidence. I've been saying that for a while. And now we're just maybe match up more or go with who's feeling the best. And But usually early in the season, you go with guys that have a little more experience. I mean, you look at last year, we didn't use Gibbler much early, and he ended up being the guy down the stretch. So, um, good. That's good for us down the road.
I believe it was Xavier at Swatters Club that you mentioned, like their coach was reaching out to you because he, felt like he had a confident team. What did you see from them this weekend in a good series win away at ECU?
Yeah, they won game 1 and game 2 at East Carolina, who's hosting regional type team, winning their league, and they got beat game 3, and then they went out to Louisville on Tuesday, which is just down the road from them, and it was 9-9 going into the bottom of the fence, or the bottom of the fifth. The wind was blowing out hard the first half of that game, and they ran out of pitching a little bit. They had brought in some people that were wild and walking and hitting people, and they ended up getting blown out. I think they just kind of let it go because they're getting ready for us now and traveled here today. So, yeah, I think they were out there where they were looking for some games on the road, and we contacted them, and they were all good with it. And I'm looking at their lineup on the offensive end. They did start one freshman who had a really good weekend offensively, but it's mostly sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Couple seniors, few juniors, a couple sophomores. So these are kids that were in the program last year, and he liked what he saw, and felt like, hey, these guys got experience. I'm gonna go play some Power Five schools on the road early, get ready for league play, give them credit for that. And then you look at the pitching. I think it's a junior and a couple of sophomores, and those two sophomores were freshmen last year. Obviously, they pitched a lot. So, yeah, here they come. I mean, this is a team that I'm sure they're planning on being in a regional at the end of the year, and this is a big series for us.
Two-parter on Nolan. His first real game action since the injury. How's he feeling? And just a little slow start at the
Yeah.
plate. What do you see from him in approach wise, and what he needs to improve there?
Well, his first at bat was really good on Friday. First hitter fights off pitches, slaps a two-strike pitch down the left field line for a soft double, and then one pitch later to our Helfrich, balls in the upper deck. We're up 2-0. Um, then not too good for a couple days. I thought Monday, I mean, he had a runner at second one time with nobody out, and he didn't advance him. That was frustrating. But he also lined out to short, and he hit a ball really hard to second, and it was interesting. So I'm sure that he's wanting to get out there as soon as he can. And I had to talk with him about his approach. I had to talk with him about not trying to do too much. And you know, when you're a really good defender and you're playing in the field and you're playing in the middle, you don't worry about the bat so much. Play defense, the bat will be okay. Give him some time. When he's just DHing, now it becomes all about the offense, and I'm sure that that's bothering him a little bit. And his arm did get sore down there, the shoulder, just from what we did, not even playing some of the drill work and that, because we're trying to push him a little bit. And, so that was sore, not hurt, just sore. And he's kind of that way, but it's getting better now. So hopefully he'll relax and swing the bat well. We need his athleticism in the lineup, the potential to hit the ball over somebody's head. Also, he can lay down a bunt, he can steal a base. He could be a big part of the offense, and he'll be out there tomorrow.
Next, Dave.
Matt, go ahead.
Hey, Dave, at right field behind Cahill, what did you see last weekend?
Well, I saw Turner make a couple really nice plays, ran to the ball well. He got a couple of hits. Uh, just solid defense, and both time. We had a left-handed bat in that slot. So that's good to know. And we kind of knew that anyway. I kind of felt bad that I basically pulled Stewart out after his one at bat against the right-hander. Then they brought the lefty up. The game felt like to me, and I think you were still there. I think we had a 3-0 lead, 3-1 lead, and we weren't doing much offensively. And I went with a left-handed hitter. Then he didn't do well. that at bat anyway, against the lefty that they brought in. And but yeah, I thought they all did well.
Uh, you talked about Xavier and what they did against East Carolina last week, and they did it without two of their really good position players, like Big East Player of the Year type candidates. So, what does that tell you about this team that they can go beat a quality program like that without their best?
Yeah, confident. That in his opening weekend, anything can happen opening weekend. I think that you go on the road opening weekend. I mean, as a coach, you're thinking, how's this going to go? Especially if you're playing a really good team. I've coached when I coached at Nebraska. We'd always go on the road, obviously, and I remember going to a tournament at Rice, thinking, we're pretty good, and the team that we definitely should have beat, we got beat 5-4 as they singled in the bottom of the ninth to score two, and Rice beat us like 16-4. But then you go to the end of that season, we beat Rice in the Super Regional at our place two straight.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get too crazy at first weekend. The second weekend, I think maybe more of what's up. So hopefully we'll play better this weekend, swing the bats a little more consistently, and see how it turns out.
So much was made about Damian Ruiz and how consistently he was able to get on base, but his defense, it seems like that's really come a long way since he's got to campus. What are your thoughts about as far as how he's developed as an outfielder?
Yeah, I think he's really taken a lot of pride in his defense. Um, he rooms with Mike Anu, and they probably have a little fun game there together, as far as like who's better defender, and there's a lot going on there. And I mean, Damian, if Mike is not playing center, he's going to probably play center. He's got center field speed and athleticism, and as does Turner, honestly, a couple other guys, which is a great option to have. But uh, I think that he's continued to get better. He plays the fence really well. Almost made a great catch on left field against TCU that might have been the difference maker. If he makes that catch, it would have saved 2 runs. But yeah, it gives us a good feeling knowing that those guys can run like they can, and they get good jumps on the ball. And then obviously the offense was really good this past weekend there.
Dudley, go ahead.
You obviously had the fall scrimmages against Oklahoma State, but you've got a situation now where some of these guys are getting to play their first game in front of a big crowd at the Baum-Walker. Talk about how you expect them to play and their excitement level, maybe.
Yeah, I think opening on the road like we did in front of such good crowds. I mean, Friday's crowd was amazing. Saturday's was unbelievable. I mean, it was like a record non-college World Series crowd, I think, and this early anyway. And so I think they should be able to handle the crowds, the new guys used to it. I think sometimes you have to calm guys down a little bit. Opening day, looks like we're going to have a pretty good day, upper 50s, light wind blowing out, and I think the fans will be excited. For those who don't know, we have 2 scoreboards now. One that can basically help the people in right field corner see a little better. So that's kind of a cool look. And yeah, I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think it'll be hopefully the game goes good, but I think the atmosphere should be fun for everybody involved.
And I'm guessing Ryder had the weekend you thought he was going to. He was ready to go from the start.
Yeah, he was. I mean, his first 2 at bats, he had 2 home runs and had one of the best at bats I'd seen when he fouled off a bunch of pitches and then homered to dead center. All that, most of those swings were with 2 strikes and staying through the ball, going the other way. And then after that, he went out of the zone his next 2 at bats more than I've seen him in a long time. Just probably trying to hit that third one. The Vandy catcher had 3 home runs, I think, earlier. And it kind of carried over a little bit where he went out of the zone a little more than I've seen him. And then Monday, I saw a totally different guy, calm, stayed through the ball, singled to right center, took his walks, and hopefully that's where we're at starting tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
Hutch, back to you.
Yeah, Dave, you had a couple of guys that threw for you in Dietz and Dossett who didn't pitch a ton, recently, and this was their first time out. I mean, how much better do you think they'll be this weekend after getting that, first appearance out of the way?
I think they'll both be a lot better. I mean, Dietz' fastball was electric. That thing was running into the right-handed hitters. Start out down the middle and end up inside. They were taking it. Had to make some adjustments there. And then his breaking ball, he's leaving it up. I think just the adrenaline, the first time out. Honestly, I'm not going to say that I didn't expect it to go that way a little bit. Um, Hoping it wouldn't. Hopefully he'll calm down and pitch like he has, since January, throwing the ball in the zone and attacking and pitching with a lot of confidence. But I liked his demeanor out there, even when it wasn't going well. He held it together. I mean, a lot of traffic the first 2 innings, and they got a couple of big hits on him. He almost got out of it. And, it was about not having that secondary pitch going. They were just kind of sitting on the hard stuff. And, they got it. They were cheating to it and hooked the ball down the line and then hooked another ball in the left field that Ruiz almost caught. And we had him deep. And it hit his glove as he's parallel to the ground and could have gone either way. But I think they'll both be a lot better. Dossett, amped up, first time out, nervous. We'll get him back out there and hopefully get him throwing the ball in the zone like normal.
Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, I know you talked about facing more right-handers this weekend, but I think it's Peace is how you say his name tomorrow, who you're going to face. What have you seen from him in particular? What makes him effective?
He just pitches, nothing like it's overpowering, just good stuff. And, been around a little bit. I think he's a junior. And, just, don't want to say a whole lot because they can watch this. And, he did well the first outing. I don't think he got a decision. I can't remember, but he pitched well. They probably had him on a pitch count and got him out of there.
I don't know if you've seen it. I bet you have. There's a video online of your second baseman running around with an armadillo. Have you seen that? And
yeah. So I didn't find out about it till yesterday. Maybe that's when the video came out. And I called him. I called him last night on the way driving home because that's when I got word about it. And I just called him and I said, "Hey, when did you do this armadillo thing?" And he said, "Oh, it was last week." And I said, "Well, okay. And you didn't get bit or scratched or anything?" He said, "No." And I said, "Those things can give you leprosy." And, we have a good relationship. He goes, "Like leprosy, like in the Bible?" I said, "Yeah, like in the Bible." I said, "Oh, no." And I said, "Don't be messing with those things. They're nasty." And I think I scared him a little bit. But my wife actually called me and said, "I just saw a video of Cam with one of those nasty animals that mostly hang out in Texas." And I said, "Yeah, I know what you're talking about." But anyway, it was kind of funny. But thank goodness he didn't get bit, scratched. And they're dangerous. Stay away from them.
You guys seem to have a lot of those kind of things running around out there. I mean, you had the raccoon game and the
it's amazing.
groundhog and lots of things through the years.
We probably ought to put a game camera out there, just see what we can see. Who knows what's running around out there? Maybe stuff we don't want. But we've had snakes in the padding, non-poisonous snakes. It was a garden snake, real colorful looking thing. A couple years ago, we're peeling off pads, washing them. There he come. Half the guys loved it. Some of them didn't like it. We've had them in the dugout. We've had wild cats in the dugout. I got a trap from a friend of mine. That's a veterinarian told me if I trapped it, she would fix it, so to speak. Then I let it go again. I brought it back out. That was many years ago. And we've had the snapping turtle. That was interesting. That was one I handled with a couple of the guys. We got it in a big old bucket. That thing was hissing at me and snapping. We got it back to the pond. We're very gentle with everything we catch, okay? But we just don't want them on the field. There's raccoons and possums, and I don't know where they come from. I mean, I'm thinking that they need to be out in the woods or something.